Hello, welcome everybody. This is Amira Pollock here and Team Struct Club. I'm so excited that everybody's joining us today for this is kind of a new experiment. We had this idea, like we mentioned in our posts and our emails the past few days. So we had this idea a week ago as people are planning for their New Year's resolutions, what it is that we could do at Team Struct Club to make planning for 2021 a lot easier. And so we put our heads together and decided to put together this first ever live session that we're doing on how to make New Year's resolutions, those fitness resolutions, stick in 2021. So we've only got 60 minutes. We are putting together our very top tips. It's not everything, but it's some of that really top stuff. Let me say a little bit about myself. I'm Amira Pollock. I'm the founder and CEO at Struct Club. What we're all about at Struct Club is music-inspired fitness created by coaches. And our vision around fitness is really democratizing it, making it accessible. We do that through trainers that are coming from all over the world. And we really believe in making that accessible to everybody. Our core values as a company in everything we do, from product design to internal culture, and the way that we think about fitness really revolves around these three things: authenticity, impact, and inclusion. So that's really defining our unique approach to fitness, the space, to how we do things, just so you get a little bit of a grounding on what we're about. And let me say this. So personally, when it comes to fitness routines, New Year's resolutions, I can say myself personally, I have struggled really hard with this topic. I have done so many things, seen a lot of things under the sun, programs on programs on programs, 6-week programs, 90-day programs, several month-long programs. I've done different types of diets, different types of crash diets. I've worked with nutritionists. I myself have worked with personal trainers, have done group training, have invested in fancy equipment, have invested in cheap equipment, and have done all different types of supplements. So this is something that I have dealt with and done different things, different years personally, have struggled through to be able to find even my own rhythm. So I understand that for those of you who have struggled year on year to stick to those New Year's resolutions around fitness, personally, I felt how hard that can be. And at Struct Club, for us, we have seen a lot of things. So as a company, thousands of fitness professionals from all over the world come to us to design better workouts through our technology. So over 660 cities is where we see these trainers come from, more than 30 countries around the world. Every major fitness brand gym, big box gym that you've heard of, whether it is 24-hour fitness, the YMCA, nonprofits, for-profits, Equinox, the Soul Cycles of the world, any brand that you've seen out there in the gym industry, the trainers that come to us have worked at. And every fitness modality that you can think of, as long as it goes along with music, has been designed in our app. So we started actually when we first dropped our app in 2018, we were exclusively focused on cycle, and it has expanded a lot since then. So for those of you who are tuning in with us, I've seen just a number of our OGs in the registration. Stacy, hey, we've been able to really grow and expand since then, and have a lot of you who are tuning in with us right now to thank for that. So this isn't to toot our horn. It's just to say we have seen a lot at Struck Club, and you should feel really good about showing up today, investing this time for yourself, because we're really trying to put together all of this data and the things that we've learned in order to make sure that you have a successful 2021. So I'm really excited about this session personally. I'm excited to get down to business. And like you might have seen from our emails, just some stuff around agenda. What we're here to do and to cover specifically is we're going to talk about elevating your workouts. We're going to talk about getting more done faster. We're going to talk about optimizing your fitness routine, learning to love being active, and evidence-backed approaches. We're going to be sprinkling some cool, fun freebies throughout. Get your phone ready, because a lot of them are going to be in the form of QR codes, or things you can really quickly access from your phone and your phone camera. And this is really, we're going to be shattering some fundamental and conventional beliefs about fitness, which I'm really excited about. There's a lot of info that floats around there about fitness and the fitness industry. And really, if you can take a moment to kind of wipe your expectations, set clean of what you think you might know about fitness, what people might talk about when it comes to fitness, and come to this session really with a fresh pair of eyes, approaching 2021 really with a clean slate. What we're not going to talk about in this session within this hour are crash diets, one size fits all types of workouts. The vast majority of the fitness industry and stuff that you'll see in fitness and workouts are very generically designed, but one thing that I'm sure you know for sure is that every body is different. There are so many types of goals when it comes to fitness, and really one size fits all doesn't really work for everybody. So guilt or shame-based tactics, those are really things that we are not going to cover. And mentally unhealthy approaches related to that, it's just not something that we believe in at Struck Club. And flash in the pan trends. So these insights that we're putting together today are meant to really be enduring, and things that will enable a routine to stick. That's really what this is all about. And by the way, yeah, starting to see some of the just the comments here. Volume is low. Turning up my volume. Make sure your all's volume is turned up too. If you have any other comments, feel free to drop them in the chat. We are watching them. Our team is monitoring them. And so keep us posted. If you want to, feel free to drop in. Hi, Katie. Hi, Charlotte. Drop in where it is that you're coming from, where you're dialing in from today. We're always really excited to see that. Me, personally, I'm coming to you from Los Angeles. So fitness myths, again, talking about shattering our beliefs and some of our expectations around, seen from the SF Bay Area. Awesome, Katie. These sorts of expectations that crush resolutions. And let's start with the first one. Myth number one, what fitness looks like. Now, when you Google fitness, you'll see a lot of things around maybe equipment, about certain body types. But when you look at expectations for men's fitness and women's fitness, there's broadly this clear picture on just Google images. Men's fitness, very just one type. Clearly, it's white men for the most part. Certain look for pecs and abs, and all kinds of messages around losing your gut or burning XYZ, lean, and a six-pack in 8 weeks. That's really interesting. Or zero effort fat loss. rock hard abs. Like very, yeah. There's clearly like an image that the industry likes to put out there, a clear, traditional way that fitness is marketed. And for women's fitness, there is definitely a certain type of image that you're going to see when you Google women's fitness. And let's just get straight to the point here on busting this myth. Fitness is not about that. Fitness is really not about that particular, and like we said again, every body is different. Here's what fitness is about and what you should center when it comes to your fitness goals and long-term enduring lasting motivation. Fitness is about health, it is about wellness, it's about living longer and better, and it's about being more of you and truer to yourself. It's not about being less of yourself or cutting parts of you out. I have this just really like hilarious moment when I was doing one of these New Year's resolutions, training planning sessions where the trainer comes to me and is like hands this glob of what looks like this chunky yellow stuff in my lap and goes, "This is 10 pounds of fat in your body." And then proceeds to then hand me a compact, what basically looks like a diagram of a muscle, and it's smaller, and goes, "This is what 10 pounds of muscle looks like on your body." So this is, and they were just talking about, this is what fitness is about. Let's replace this with this. Let me just say that is, that might work for motivating you in the course of a day or in the course of like in the short term, but that's really not going to be a healthy or motivating approach for the long term. Scare tactics are not going to work. Again, fitness is really about how you feel. It's about being healthy. It's about living better, and it's just about being more true to yourself. So this is, kind of number one myth that we absolutely want to bust if we want to be successful at having a long-term healthy approach and a mentally healthy approach on top of a physically healthy approach to fitness. Myth number two, fitness tastes like, beware the carbs. No carbs. This is one of the most frequent things I hear all the time from just casual conversations, people coming to us about just asking, so I should definitely cut all of the carbs out of my diet, right? And this meme is just so hilarious. There's this little carb monster who, is just beware, apparently super evil, right? Mythbuster, wrong. So actually, this is going to strike a lot of you as intuitive, I hope, but you need carbs to live. Vegetables have carbs, and you must eat to live. So don't get deprivation tactics, starvation tactics. These are not going to fuel an active life. They're not going to make your life any better. Certainly, I think we all know that a full 100% diet of donuts all day is also not going to make you feel good or live better either. So everything in moderation, but do not eliminate carbs from your diet. That's just it's not sustainable. It's not going to work. It's not something, it's something I've tried personally and doesn't make me feel good either. And so, yeah, make sure that, just rest assured that you do need carbohydrates in order to just live. Myth number 3 through 9. We hear so much of this, and unfortunately, we still see this a lot in live studios and trainings. We want to be able to enable folks to identify this when you see it. Fitness sounds like. And here we put a cartoon of this angry coach who's just yelling at you, all of these things. No pain, no gain. Or pain is weakness leaving the body. Just ridiculous things like sweat is fat crying or suck it up. In other words, summing all that up, AKA bullying self-talk. May, in the moment, for a lot of people, a lot of folks love having that drill sergeant-esque or yelling type of coach in the moment. It might incentivize you or motivate you through fear. However, in the long term, you've got to know, Mythbuster, fitness is really more about caring for yourself, not bullying yourself. And what those bullying tactics will do in the long term, and this is, this comes from all types of psychological research. Any bullying increases risk of things like anxiety, depression, actually diminished performance, self-harm, and poor health. So even things like, people who experience frequent bullying, maybe they experience things like headaches or getting sick more frequently. These are things that actually, they don't just affect your psychology, they also affect your entire system. So make sure to, as much as possible, clean that out of your fitness routine. And when sometimes these come in the form of voices in our own heads. It might not come from an external source. Make sure that when you hear that, or if you hear that in your own self-talk and your internal dialogue and monologue, just identify it, identify and mark that, this is wrong. This is not something that I want in my day-to-day fitness routine, and start to learn to cut it out. And myth number 10, workout is greater than sleep, prioritizing workouts over sleep. This is something that really the vast majority of fitness professionals and the fitness industry won't tell you, but we're going to tell you right here today. Make sure to actually prioritize sleep over workouts. So some of you might have heard about the book Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. There's a lot of research and studies that show that actually sleep loss correlates with injury. It correlates with poor performance. And this is a really interesting figure. This is figure 10 in his book, where your percentage chance of injury actually decreases when you increase your sleep by the hour. This is actually a dramatic chart where you go, you're going from 6 hours of sleep to 7 hours to 8 hours to 9 hours, and watching how the sports injury, that chance of injury, drops dramatically with every single hour of sleep. Another thing that this book has in their figure 11, NBA player performance. So they studied players in the NBA, more than 8 hours of sleep versus fewer than 8 hours of sleep, seeing the increase in number of minutes that players are able to play and did play, an increase number of points per minute. This is actually a really dramatic number. Increase in 3-point percentage, increase in free throw percentage, and a massive decrease, or rather increase in number of decrease in turnovers, sorry, tripping over myself, decrease in fouls committed. So I think you get the picture here. Mythbuster, don't skip sleep to work out. If you're going to pick between that 8th hour, that 7th hour of sleep, and your workout, you should pick the sleep. That's something, again, most fitness professionals out there aren't going to tell you. They're going to say, come to my workout because that's what's going to make me money, and wake up at 4 a.m. to come to your workout. Cut the sleep, cut the hour of sleep. No, actually, you need the sleep. So this is something that we've compiled, top fitness routine struggles. These are the things that are most likely to trip up a New Year's resolution around fitness and how to fix them. This is really getting into the meat, nuts and bolts, tips and tricks around planning. And hopefully these are some things that can add to your own routine. They might be hard to do all up front, 100%. So even layering in one piece at a time is going to just make a dramatic effect on how to make that fitness routine stick for 2021. The when, timing. So these are some of the biggest routine killers that we hear the most frequently. Just first and foremost, getting busy. We are so busy. There are so many things, especially now, that are competing for our time. A lot of our routines for 2020 during this pandemic have been totally busted. And so getting busy is the very top thing that we hear. So this leads to maybe it's procrastination, or prioritizing fitness as the very last thing in your calendar, prioritizing your own self-care as the very last thing that bundles in with fitness. these are other things that we see. You've got like a routine that's going, you've got a flow, and maybe you change the time of day. That can totally throw off a workout. And then picking a suboptimal time of day. So there are a lot of folks who will say, the best time to work out is 8 a.m., or the best time to work out is after work, or the best time to work out is lunch. You know what? You actually have to find a time that works the best for you, where your energy is going to be at its peak to be able to work out, where your motivation is going to be at its peak. And so we'll have a few examples of this. The when. Okay, so some of the busiest, addressing that busy piece, what do the busiest people in the world do to like fit in their fitness? How do they do it? So example, Richard Branson right here, Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama in her podcast actually talks about, you might have heard this on Spotify, that she actually blocks out in her calendar her self-care first. So even when she was in the White House, she would plan out her own self-care schedule, her own things, her own workouts first, even before the important other appointments, the work appointments. So block it out. This is actually a tactic. This sounds very basic, but some of you might have heard of the author Nir Eyal. He's also the writer of Hooked, which is a Wall Street Journal bestselling book. And it really is about how to control overall your attention span, take control over your life. And he has done a lot of research around the intersection of psychology, neuroscience, and technology. So his biggest recommendation, one of the biggest takeaways from this book, is blocking out time. That time blocking works. It guards against procrastination, and it enables you to create habit. Habit is, something that it really is about like automatic routine, as opposed to an actual routine that takes intention. Working out is something that really kind of falls into the category of routine development, as opposed to something that you might automatically do. But conventionally, colloquially, this is something that most people will deem as habit generation. So this image right here is me on my calendar. This month, I have been wanting to make sure that I personally block out time before the sun goes down to go and do my workouts outside. This is actually even in my work calendar. I have blocked these out. If you're a person on my team, any of my teammates here, you'll see this in my calendar, these workout blocks. So this is something that I do personally. For me, picking the right time for you, for me, I made this a goal because first off, there's some people who do well in the morning before they have eaten. For me, when I measure my workouts, when I measure my heart rate, when I measure what it is that I can do, I do best after I've eaten my calories and I've digested. And so working out in the 4 to 5 p.m. range instead of first thing in the morning, for me personally, works the best. This is something that's different for everybody. Usain Bolt, his world record-breaking runs have happened at the 2 to 3 p.m. time in the afternoon. He takes a nap right before. So that is the time that works best for him to perform his best. So really, when it comes to a right time of day, that is going to be up to you. Some people like to work out at 5:30 p.m. That's when they like to blow their steam after work. Sometimes it's a bit later. It helps put them down for bed. So making sure that you're intentional about that time of day, that can actually really make a difference individually based on each person. So picking that right time for you. Ramping up. This is an important concept across a lot of dimensions of fitness. And this is something that, when it comes to timing and New Year's resolutions, really can trip up a fitness routine going into the new year. Instead of taking time, whether it is, going from what, as they call, off the couch to a full-on fitness routine, making sure to condition first, maybe not starting out with 4 workouts a week, maybe it's 1 a week, maybe it's 2 a week, then gradually ramping up to 3 a week and then 4 a week, is a safer, longer term, more sustainable approach that is typically, when it comes to New Year's resolutions, flipped upside down. And this is why people kind of slam into roadblocks because they're trying to do all their work every single day, 7 days a week. They start out the new year and it actually ends up burning them out. So the ramp up applies to conditioning. So that's making sure that your body is increasingly in a condition to do more and more intense workouts. It applies to warming up. So during the workout, making sure you have a proper amount of time to get the body warm, get those muscles nice and loose, and really get that your entire body and your system warmed up before hitting it hard with things like, say, sprint intervals or heavy lifting, for example. This applies to frequency of workouts. So we talked about that, as well as duration of workouts. So this is another thing that people will start the new year, with a bang, and they go into 2-hour-long workouts before having done any conditioning. This might sound intuitive, but that is a really easy way to set yourself up for injury. And so ramping up that duration, starting with potentially shorter workouts before getting into those longer workouts, are another tactic to ensure that you're on a nice smooth ramp to creating a sustainable routine as opposed to something that's going to burn you out. So in any event, I'm seeing some more comments in the chat. Thank you so much for the love. If this is resonating with you, can I get an amen? Go ahead, drop that in the chat. If you're feeling if you're feeling both some of these struggles as well as some of these solutions as potential, whether new insights for you, things that sound doable and reasonable, and things that you feel can already potentially help you out with your routine in the coming new year. Here is another tip, another really great tip from this book from Nir Eyal. Big tip around making sure that you don't get distracted during those workouts. So turning on do not disturb. There are times when during your workout, you might get distracted by a text or something that might throw you off. Or there are a lot of apps that when you download them, they automatically enable, they give you an alert to enable notifications. Maybe you enabled it, maybe you don't want them anymore. Going into your settings and turning off notifications. This is actually a life tip in general, to make sure that you really are taking ownership of your time and are not distracted by little notifications that pop up, which actually he also studied it can take up to 25 minutes in some instances to move from a distraction back to getting focused on what you were doing. 25 minutes, literally, that can be your entire workout. And so redirecting your attention, spending that time redirecting your attention instead back to what you're doing can be a really big waste of time. So this do not disturb setting that temporarily turns off your notifications, or full on switching those notification settings off, especially for those apps where you don't need notifications. Some of us, of course, have emergencies. We want to have our notifications on. That's totally fine. But making sure anything that's unnecessary is cleared out. This is going to be a super duper, just broad New Year's resolution, a helper that you can do for yourself to minimize distractions in your life. Hey, Carmel. Hey, Alex. Hey, Emily. Hey, Scott. Nice to see you. Love the love in the chat that we're seeing. All right. So now prep and recovery. A lot of time is actually spent on talking about workout design, the types of workouts you should have, which we're going to get into. But it's also really important to really think about and bring intention into the things that happen before the workout and the things that happen after the workout. So making sure your body is prepped and making sure that you're investing time and effort into recovery. I love this. These are some of the top things that we hear, of course, that end up preventing future workouts is the tightness that you get, the soreness that you get in your muscles, and even in the worst cases, injuries. These are the things that will prevent you from working out in the future that happen in those early New Year's workouts when you're going super hard. Drop in the chat if you've ever felt soreness from a workout where you had a hard time walking the next day. I felt this myself. I'm raising my hand. You're like, man, I worked out so hard. I couldn't even get out of bed, or you're just waddling when you're walking, or it's hard to do basic things like, go to the bathroom or sit down in your chair because you worked out so hard. In that state, close your eyes, put yourself back in that position. How easy is it, or how difficult is it to get back up and work out again when you're in a state where you can barely move? Pretty impossible, right? So, here are some things that you can do to make sure that that doesn't happen. Stretching. I know that this is super basic for a lot of people, but let me admit, I will admit myself that sometimes before a workout and after a workout, I can get so excited about my workout that I forget to stretch. This is something that takes discipline, it takes remembering, it takes making sure that in your calendar you've blocked out a little bit of buffer time before and after to do those stretches, but making sure that you stretch. This is such a big, we will learn this in like elementary school physical education, but still something that we forget to do really frequently that causes things like tightness, muscular soreness, and injury. So make sure to stretch. I know it's really simple. Good news, a lot of this advice is simple, and some of it is a lot more complex, but stretching. I know you know it already. Now it's time to apply it. All of your workouts, all the time. Let's commit to it. This is kind of just some next level stuff on prep and recovery. Equipment and tools and toys, these are things that I love personally to use to prep, to stretch, to get my muscles prepped as well as recovered and preventing soreness. So, some of you might be familiar with foam rollers. This is one type of foam roller. I'm going to pull out one of my own toys here. This is my foam roller. It's got these little ridges right here to like dig into those muscles. Using this to roll before and after a workout is something that helps you loosen up those muscles. One, two, it helps prevent soreness. And so some of you who are familiar with, I've taken a couple of classes on foam rolling and foam rolling properly, but what it does is it crushes into and massages the fascial layer, the myofascial layer, which exists in between your skin and your muscles. So when you kind of slide around your skin, that's what enables it to just kind of like slide around there. And that contains a lot of nutrients, nourishment, hydration. So when you're rolling and you're kind of like, cranking that out, you're really allowing that to release that nutrients and those benefits into your muscles as well as your blood system. And it's also a deep tissue massage. So self massage, even if it's not a foam roll, I mean, typically you can get these things for like a few bucks. They're not super expensive. The ones with the ridges are a little bit fancier and a little bit more intense. So you might want to start with something that is smoother on the surface. There are other things like cork balls, little peanuts, and you'll see like crazy things happen. Like if you do some foam rolling, say, try it on the toes of one of your feet, do a forward fold, you'll see that as a result of the whole fascial layer being connected from your toes all the way up to your head, when you do a forward fold, you'll see that one side suddenly becomes noticeably more flexible. Just doing foam rolling on your toes. It's pretty amazing. This is one of my really favorite tools. It's a little bit fancier, it's a little bit more expensive, but sometimes it can be like hard to roll. I got this baby. This is my little massage gun. It has 6 settings. There are lots of different companies that provide things like this with different like heads that you can have in order to control the depth at with which you're massaging, as well as the precision, that point precision. This is a gift that was given to me by my sister. Thanks, baby sis. This has prevented a lot of soreness in my recent workouts. This is more of a newer holiday gift, so this is something that I'm excited to have, and it works really well for me. So, a couple of little things there that you can use to prep and recover those muscles. Motivation. This is a big one. This is related to a couple of the things that we have talked about, but a massive area that folks struggle with, that meh feeling. And here we got SpongeBob. I got a lot of SpongeBob in this presentation. I personally love SpongeBob. If SpongeBob is your thing, Feel free to show some love in the chat to SpongeBob. Going from that blah feeling to a motivated feeling. These are three really simple things that you can do to completely up that motivation level. One, formats that you enjoy. We'll dive into each of these. Two, grabbing a buddy. And three, picking the right music. And we're going to dive into that in particular a little bit more extensively. So picking favorite formats, aka activities, aka modalities. These three things for me, this is for me personally, are the formats that are on the very top of my list that I love doing. I just really enjoy these things personally. And so they enable me to actually look forward to my workouts as something, I don't even really think of them as workouts. They're fun activities that I love to do. So yes, this is me on a bike. If you've seen those memes around expectations versus reality, I don't actually look like this when I'm riding my bike, but this is how I like to think of myself in my mind when I'm doing the workouts on my bike. So this is how I feel as opposed to how I look when I'm riding my bike. I got another picture of Michelle Obama here, just completely being a badass. I love fitness boxing. I love punching out the bag. I love shadow boxing. This is just something that helps me to release more of my aggression, and it's a great cardio workout, and it's a great strength workout too. And for my kind of restorative both stretching as well as strength and balance, I love yoga. So these are three formats that without a doubt, I'm just going to really enjoy doing it. I'm going to feel better after I do it, and I'm going to look forward to it the next day. It also keeps things mixed up and interesting for me. So I'm not, stuck in a rut of a boring routine or feeling like I'm stuck in a rut where I'm not really sure what it is to do next. It keeps it fresh, and it keeps things exciting for me personally. But there are so many formats and activities that you can pick as well. So by the way, these are activities that count too. Being active is the goal. So walking your dog, or just taking a walk, walking your pet, just walking around, moving counts as contributing to your fitness. So don't forget that. These are things and activities that are doable by most folks, and I wouldn't discount them if you're like, oh, I'm just taking a walk, that doesn't count. This is something that I hear a lot. Oh, I did this as an activity, but it doesn't count as fitness. Give yourself some credit. Walking counts. This is something that just I absolutely love. One of my friends, Kirsten, she is the founder CEO of Pound, the Rockout Workout. Earlier, we did a session this year on her own podcast and how to put together your own podcast. But she invented this workout format where you have these drumsticks. They call them the rip sticks, and you're just like, rocking out like you're a rock star. This is activity. It's super fun. It's seriously a workout. I'm super sore after any time I do one of these workouts, but all of this is to say there are so many ways to move your body. Maybe it's dance. All of these things count as activity. If you look forward to them and if you enjoy them, they are more likely to stick as far as your routine goes. So look for things, find something that you enjoy and that you love to do, and make that part of your motion routine. Balance. So this is an area that we get a lot of questions about too. A lot of misconceptions about, cardio is the only healthy thing to do, so I'm going to do that instead of strength. Or strength is a lot more efficient. I really hate cardio, so I'm just going to totally forego cardio. Or yoga, oh, it's just stretching, it's not it's not really a workout. Okay, again, this is an area where, let's start from ground zero, shattering our beliefs here. Balance is actually the way to go. Strength, when it comes to strength, having at least a couple of resistance training sessions per week, or incorporating that into your routine at least 2 times per week, 2 to 3 times per week on average is great. all of these elements complement each other. So when your strength increases, you're actually more able to do cardio as well as some of the restorative workouts. When your cardiovascular ability increases and that capacity increases, you're better able to do strength as well as recuperate. So all of these elements of fitness complement each other. So if there's one area that's you feel like has been lacking in the past, start to incorporate that in your fitness routine, because really a balance, that trifecta, is going to make you more capable and effective all around. The buddy system. This is an area where a lot of people miss out, where you could really make your fitness routine a lot more fun, more competitive, more effective, and make it stick. So here's SpongeBob back again with his buddy Patrick working out. Um, the 90% boost. So there actually has been a lot of research around the topic of when you're working out with a buddy, or you have some kind of accountability buddy that you check in with. Maybe you have your Monday buddy, and that's different from your Tuesday buddy. Maybe it's your partner, and you just check in with each other. You don't work out with each other, but you just have a check in like, hey, did you do your workout today? Or how was your workout today? Somebody that you talk to about your workouts. This increases your effectiveness of sticking to your routine. And even in certain cases where you're working out with that buddy, your performance by 90%. And why is that? There's a social element, there's an accountability element, there's kind of a common suffering together in some cases when that workout is really hard element, and being able to share that with somebody. This is something that, if you're taking notes right now, you got a notebook, I would jot this down, like, who should my buddy be? Maybe it's for my cardio, maybe it's for my strength, or overall my workouts. For me, my partner personally is my personal life partner is a great buddy for workouts. Sometimes we work out together, and sometimes we just check in with each other on a daily basis to say, hey, how was your workout? Or did you take a recovery day today? How did it go? What were you listening to? Having somebody to talk about it with is something that helps me to stay accountable personally as well, and helps him to stay accountable personally too. And so grabbing that buddy, if you don't have a buddy, or if you're having a hard time finding a buddy, just make sure to reach out to us. You can hit us at Strut Club at our handle. You can email me, contact us personally, and we'll pair you up with a buddy. We'll find somebody for you if this is something that is currently difficult and you don't have in your life at the moment, or maybe a family or friend that's not somebody that you necessarily want as your workout buddy. You might want to have somebody outside of your circle. That's perfectly fine. There are numerous people that we can help pair you with in order for you to have your own fitness buddy. Maybe meet somebody new in the new year. Music. Okay. So music is great just to even get you in. This is my number one pre-workout. This is the number one pre-workout that we recommend for everybody. It's better than caffeine, and it's super effective, but making sure you have the music that gets you in the mood. So we put this QR code up here. This is one of our freebie goodies right now. Open your camera phone, point it at this QR code, and then click there's a little notification that's going to pop up on your phone. These are over 600 songs across more than 45 playlists that are specifically expressly curated for workouts across our community of thousands of fitness instructors and professionals. So if you're like really struggling to get in the mood to move, there is going to be something in the most likely case, many songs that are literally there curated to motivate you. If you're feeling in that meh mood, if you listen to the right song, it can vastly improve your mood, likelihood, excitement, and just a feeling of emotion around working out. So this is just another way to make it fun and make it more effective. And you'll see also in the chat down below here that we have dropped a link directly to it. So if you're watching this on your phone, or if you got this open on your phone, or even on your laptop, you can go ahead and click it. It's just going to take you right to our Spotify page. Follow it. New playlists are coming out every week. And again, they're specifically for workouts, completely for free. Oh, and by the way, preview, we're just about to launch this, but because you're here today, we're just letting you know in advance that we're curating our top 25 songs across the entire app, top played songs throughout 2020. So this is something that if you're following our Struck Club channel on Spotify right now, and you're on our newsletter or following us on Instagram, you're going to see this drop tomorrow. And I'm just really excited about it. And just thank you to the team for putting this together. So you can listen to the most played songs specifically for workouts across our community for the entirety of this past year. So super exciting. The top hits. All right, so efficiency and optimization during the actual workout. Intervals. So many of you have heard about intervals or interval training. Really, what this has to do is with work to rest ratios. In other words, the time spent working, whether it is intense cardio, whether it is lifting, whether it is strength, in comparison to the amount of time spent resting and putting those interspersing those intervals of time across the sequence of the workout. You'll see this expressed in work colon rest, so in numbers. And I'm just going to go through a few of the key examples. And if you have certain goals, the types of intervals that are recommended by professionals for those types of workouts. So if your goal is strength or power training, there are kind of three subcategories of this and the work to rest ratios, and I'll chat through a couple of examples. So general broad resistance training or individual muscle training, 1:3 to 1:6 work to rest ratio. So say, for example, a work to rest ratio of 1:3, if you're working for 20 seconds, then you should rest and recover starting at 60 seconds. So that's an example of a 1:3 work to rest ratio, 20 seconds to 1 minute work to rest ratio. And moving up to 1:6. So really increasing that recovery time. 1 rep max. So 1 rep max is, say, if you're doing an Olympic lift and you're lifting something so heavy, you can literally only do 1 rep of that. You have these maybe gigantic weights. You can only do 1 bicep curl before you max out. You should rest for at least 5 minutes after that is what's recommended. So 1 rep to 5 minutes. Sprint training. So this is something where we have a number of clients within the Struck Club community who are really working around sprints and speed and agility. So sprint training, going from a 1:3 work to rest ratio up to 1:8 work to rest ratios when it comes to timing those intervals. More types of goals, building endurance. Typically, we see what's recommended is in the 1:1 work to rest ratio. So if you work for a minute, rest for a minute, work for a minute, rest for a minute, or work for 30 seconds, rest for 30 seconds, work another 30, rest another 30 seconds. And if we're talking about high intensity training, then you see that rest time drop in relativity to the work. So you can start from 1:1, or some of you are familiar with or may have heard about things like, say, a Tabata set. That's a 2:1 work to rest ratio in kind of a sequence of 8 times. So typically you'll see, say, a Tabata where you're working for 20 seconds, resting for 10, 8 times in a row. So that's an example of high intensity training and how that works in the context of a 2:1 work to rest ratio. Higher than 2:1 is considered extreme training. So this is something just to look out for and make sure you really, this goes back to the theme of making sure you have enough recuperation time and enough recovery, and even incorporating that in the workouts, because going beyond a 2:1 work to rest ratio is considered extreme training. It can be really hard on your body, lead to injuries, and really lead to burnout. So that is another risk area that I would underline as making sure that if you're seeing that in workouts, or if you're planning your own workouts, to plan that out of your workouts, because it can really get into the danger zone. We really want to make sure that your fitness routine is healthy and sustainable. So what's with this HIT stuff? Maybe you've seen around the internet or there's been a few popular New York Times articles recently on HIT training, the benefits of HIT training. HIT with the double I, HIIT, stands for high intensity interval training. For a lot of you here, I've seen some some of you folks who this is like basic info for you, but in case this is your first time seeing it, this is what it stands for. And what people are really going for when it comes to HIT training is this concept of EPOC, or excess post oxygen consumption in the body, post exercise oxygen consumption. So basically, that HIT training gets your body into an oxygen deficit. It's trying to catch up with consuming that oxygen after the workout. And so it's processing a bit on overdrive, or your metabolic state is lifted after the workout for the succeeding, whether it's 24 to 36 hours post workout. It's also called the afterburn effect. And one of the fitness brands that has popularized this a lot is Orange Theory Fitness. There are many more brands that have popularized HIT training, but more recently, and their whole fitness format is around making sure you get those 12 minutes within the hour-long workout of elevating your heart rate threshold to 80% or above. So that is just, it, for those who have seen HIT training floating around across the internet, is wondering, what is that about? Like, why does it work? Just some basics there to help out. So with HIT, this is why, and just like all of this interval training stuff, you're like, man, how do I plan these workouts? Like, do I need to scan the workouts in advance? Like, how do I know how to program like stuff that's going to put me in my 80% plus threshold for requisite amount of time? This is really why in the Struct Club app, we try to make this easy for you. So we have a whole section around high intensity interval training specifically. When you jump into the app and look at the different categories of working out, HIT training, if that is what you're looking for. Here's some examples. We got Coach Dynasty Hunt, Build a Booty. This workout, of course, is specifically targeting building the glutes. We've got Trevin over here with his Latinx full body HIT training workout. We've got some 90s hits by Coach Julian, some 80s hits, pun intended. We have cycling HIT, we have running HIT. So all kinds of formats here where we do all of that work for you. So you don't really have to think about like, if I'm like planning for HIT training, like how should I plan the intervals and the workouts? And by the way, all of these workouts come with a matching playlist, and those intervals follow along with the beat of music as well as the playlist. So this hopefully eliminates a lot of stress that might go into planning your HIT workouts with stuff that is ready-made for you, curated by just some of our amazing coaches, some of whom are in here in the chat. Just giving a shout out. And by the way, we internally test everything. Every single one of these workouts goes through an internal review process where we strap on our own heart rate monitors. Several of us will look at every single workout and do them ourselves, and looking at the thresholds that of heart rate that the workouts put us in. We measure the amount of time that is spent in these 80% plus heart rate thresholds, and actually every heart rate zone. So this is something that we make sure to take a close look at, because we want to make sure that if you're spending 10 minutes working out, 20 minutes working out, 30 minutes working out, it's time well spent. So this is something that we do. So let us simplify your life here. Here's another free goodie where you can, again, open up that phone camera, point your camera at one of these QR codes if you use Spotify or if you use Apple Music. This is our Peace Out 2020 HIT class. Click that browser notification that pops up on your app. Alex on our team is going to drop a couple of links that will enable you to click right for it in the chat down below here. And if you want, you can type these links right into your phone, but just make it easier on yourself. Go ahead, open the camera and go straight to those links. Yep, it's in the chat too. So I'm going to move on from this. Wearables. So we talked about heart rate monitoring. There are so many different types of heart rate monitors, wearables that you can use. This is an example of an article that has really gone deep into different types of wearable connected fitness trackers and how they compare the features. So based on what it is that you want to be measuring, if you want to incorporate sleep measurement, for example, this is an article that goes through pretty comprehensively some of the top wearable workouts and has recommendations based on some of the features you might want for yourself personally, different price points, etc. Okay, so I'm really excited about this piece because this is the ultimate level up to workouts that we've found and seen that is evidence based, that's going to elevate the workout experience, it's going to optimize your time, and really hit all of those 5 goals that we talked about at the very beginning of the agenda of this session. Wait for it. Workouts and music that match. I know this is just like the mind blower of the century. And probably for some of you are like, I work out to music that I love. That's really great. Like, yes, I work out to music, but wait just for a second because many of you may not have heard of really this concept of biomusicology. There's actually an entire field of research that looks at how we as humans and how really the animal kingdom responds to music. This is an example of an NIH article and a study that talks about the effect of rhythm on the motor system. It's really a profound effect. There's actually so much research on this topic, connecting rhythm, say with brain function, connecting the psychological, psychophysical, physiological effects of music during interval training specifically, and the effects of synchronous music during circuit types of exercise. So it's not just about playing music in the background, but really making sure that different dimensions of music match your movement and what you're doing. This is the ultimate hack that I believe that we can offer just throughout the takeaways of this whole conversation. So songs you love, tempo, song structure, song content, and playlist sequence. These are the 5 elements that really get that music and workout to match in a way that elevates your experience. It optimizes it, it makes it a lot more efficient. So songs you love. I'm not just talking about any songs that you hear on the radio, like, woo, this is groovy, I like that, but really songs that inspire and elicit your emotional response. This is going to be extremely personal to everybody, but I'm just giving examples of some strong emotions that might be elicited that count as being really effective at motivating your workouts. So we got Beyonce here. She's doing her hair toss after her catwalk. This is, maybe a badass emotion, the song that makes you really feel super confident, like you're going to totally crush it. There's some songs that will make you feel peak aggressive. This is Manny Pacquiao. Holler to my Pinoys and Benais out there. Manny Pacquiao getting super aggressive. And there's this guy in the background who's like, dang, he is going for it. Like just something that's going to bring out the beast in you and inspired. So LeBron here with the single tier, maybe even double tier, like a song that brings you to tears. I know you've heard that song before for any given one of these categories, but this is what I mean when I'm not just talking about like, oh, any old music that's playing in the background. Really, there are songs out there that will take you to the next level. Literally, I'm sharing this is something that I do with my own music. I categorize them. A lot of you fitness instructors who are dialing in right now, I see you doing this too, but categorizing the music that you love after you've liked all of your like absolute top hit songs that are your top songs for any given activity. So this is something that I do, quick little life hack there that will help to elevate your own workouts personally. If you've got those songs that you like, putting them into little categories, maybe it's for your warm up, your cool down. When I'm going into sprints, we have somebody who, just one of our intern stories, he has a song specifically that he listens to anytime he's trying to make a personal record. I got my beast mode songs. This is something that can really help. Different for everybody. So no more meh music. None of that in 2021. Only songs that elicit that response. I know some of you are cracking up to this. I'm serious. I'm totally serious. All right, tempo of music. I've got an image of a metronome here. A metronome is maybe you've heard like kind of a clicker before around some of this. I'm just turning on a metronome here next to my mic. That's the beat. And the tempo is the speed of the beat. So having that tempo, that beat, that speed of the beat, matching the tempo and the cadence of what it is that you're doing helps a lot. It helps with your motor control. It helps with the motivation, and it helps to guide you into what speed you should be going during a workout. So I put a little note here at the magic of 130 plus BPM. If you find a song in that tempo, that rhythmic speed category, if you're feeling a little bit meh, uh, for most people, that 130 plus BPM point is going to rev you back up, even if you're feeling fatigued. So just like a little fun note there. And this is why in our app, within the Struct Club app, we have an auto tempo reader. For those of you who design workouts or use Struct Club to look at your tempos, you know this already. But within our app, when you pull in songs, we have an auto readout of the different tempos of songs, so you don't have to Google every single song tempo, and that just can take forever. So hopefully this can save you some time when looking at the tempo of music. Song structure. So different songs will have different structures. Typically, this is a very typical song structure. It doesn't work for every single song. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. So having those exercises and those segments and intervals matching the structure of the music can really elevate that workout, elevate that motivation, and bring that experience to the next level. So this is just an example of a song that is tagged in Struct Club to Usher's Scream. And this is literally why we have designed a tool, and it's the only tool out there that enables you to design the actual interval structure of your workout to the music. And you'll see in any given segment what the constituent components are. But this is just something that you're not going to find anywhere else that we enable in our platform. And this is why we do it. It really makes it more effective for you to work out. Song content, major versus minor key. The best analogy I can use to describe this is Star Wars, the light side and the dark side. So if you hear songs where you're like, ooh, this is a bright song, it's got like a brighter vibe, it's probably because it's in a major key. That has to do with the notes, the sequence of notes, and the chordal structure of a given song. And the darker side, songs that are in a minor key, they have kind of a darker vibe. And it really has to do with the selection of notes and how those flow into chords and the spaces in between those notes. A little bit of music theory there, but this can really affect the mood that you have during a workout, whether you're feeling inspired or whether you're feeling really aggressive and badass. It'll probably have to do with the key that the song is in. And lyrics, of course, song content. So I've got an example here. Sia's Unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. I'm a Porsche with no brakes. I'm invincible. I win every single game. So those lyrics can really amplify, put you in the mood, put you in a certain mindset and in the zone when you're working out, and inform what it is you're doing and how you're doing it. So, and then playlist sequencing. So making sure things are in a logical and constructive order. Having everything being 130 BPM is not going to work, especially in the warm up and the cool down. You really want to have a modulation that brings variety and brings logic into the cohesion of the workout. And so that sequencing matters as well. As you can see, it's really an art and a science when it comes to pairing that music with the movement. And you'll also notice that that is something that I personally really love and care about. And this is why we have developed, it's something that's really complicated, but for us, we've developed the Struct method and the Struct system around this. And so we're really excited at tail end of this to present a special offer today only, around Struct private sessions. So this is something that is a, oop,
A metronome is
one quick sec. All right. So today only, and with this QR code and the link down here, link dropping in the chat, is Struct private sessions. These are a $700 value that we're offering today only for $99.99. And what this includes is up to 4 one-on-one sessions, 30 minutes each, your perfect workout week comprising 4 workouts and matching playlists that we will work with you together to leverage the Struct method and the Struct system, which are our own proprietary approaches to how we pair and sequence music along with motions in workouts. We'll work with you personally to be able to put together your perfect workout week. So this is just something that we're offering today only. We just thought about it for the new year. You can go ahead and, again, just with utilizing these QR codes, opening up your phone camera, pointing it at this QR code, clicking the browser that pops up, or going to this, you can type this link below, noting that it is case sensitive. All of these are lowercase, so going ahead and typing that in. We're also dropping it in the chat. And so we hope that this is something that is helpful and can serve you. It's only available today, and this is what it comes with. Again, those 4 sessions, 30 minutes each, perfect workout week with those 4 workouts and matching playlists. We are already over time, 4 minutes, so I'm going to let you get back to your day. But in the meantime, just really appreciate everybody coming through. Really hope this was a helpful session. If it was, feel free to drop that in the comments, shoot us an email, and hope to see you in this new year. Reach out to us at Struct Club. We got our handle there. It's literally at Struct Club on IG. Feel free to DM us with anything that we can help answer. And have a happy new year. Thanks, everybody.